Oh, here's your Backstage pass.
Quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by Chef Lisa Dahl. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Shondra.
Well, welcome, my VIPs. You've got your Backstage Pass, and you are in. Get ready for some behind-the-scenes stories that you'd never know about unless you tune in here on Sedona's Backstage Pass, live every Saturday at 10 a.m. on KAZM 106.5 FM and 780 AM, and also streaming live on mellowmountainradio.com. Remember, if you miss a show, don't worry about it. You can always go back and listen to it on mellowmountainradio.com, as well as Spotify, Pandora Radio, Apple Podcasts, and even YouTube. A lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about what's going on here in Sedona. I always like to do that. Support all kinds of organizations and great events that are going on, including some wonderful artists. So what I want you to do is, after you hear the show, is go down to the Sedona Arts Center because they're having their holiday artist market. And it runs through the weekend, so you've got time. You can do it today and tomorrow. I was there yesterday doing some music and just emceeing and stuff like that. This is a wonderful artist market. It offers unique handmade gifts from local artists. And literally, this event features over 40 artists and craft makers from Sedona and all around Arizona. So you can get some unique handmade gifts, fine art, just in time for the holidays. You can get ceramics and jewelry, paintings, textiles, and so much more. So check it out today and tomorrow, Sedona Arts Center, which is uptown Sedona. Now, for theater lovers, for those of you who love to go to the theater, there is a vintage Christmas holiday show. It's a live radio play, and the Emerson Theater Collaborative is putting that on. The performances are this evening and tomorrow, the 6th and 7th of December. And it's at the Sedona United Methodist Church in the New Room. And for more information, visit emersontheatercollaborative.org. Let's talk about the Sedona Heritage Museum because there's some really cool things going on there. One of my friends, Michael Peach, he's a fabulous actor and a storyteller. For his storytelling, he goes by the name Michael Coyote Peach, and he's going to return to the Sedona Heritage Museum today at 1:30, so check it out. It's a brand new program. It's called Oops. It's a series of tongue-in-cheek stories about misadventures from Arizona's past and present. He is so much fun. You'll enjoy him very, very much. That's today at the Sedona Heritage Museum. And then also, there are some Thursdays in December 11th, December 18th. You can check out The Fiddler on the Rock. He has a one-of-a-kind concert experience. It's not just a concert. It is really an experience. You will love him. If you want a ticket to that, visit fiddlerontherock.com. And then on December 13th, and this is the one I'm going to be participating in, actually as the MC and also singing some songs and getting everyone to sing along. And that's December 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Sedona Heritage Museum. It's called Merry Music at the Museum. And it's a traditional holiday event with lots and lots of music, lots of different choirs. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be cider and cookies and other treats, and admission is free. That's always a wonderful perk. Now, I do have to mention that the Sedona International Film Festival has two big events going on. Besides their wonderful indie films that they show on a constant basis, I have been going to those, and I love them. And, of course, you know they do have the film festival coming up in February, but I digress. Let's talk about what's happening this month. Tuesday, December 9th, that's this Tuesday, at 7 p.m., you got to check this out. It's called A Winter's Eve with David Arkenstone and Friends. Now, David Arkenstone is a Grammy-nominated recording artist, and he's going to be live on stage at the Sedona Performing Arts Center, again, Tuesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. He's got his musicians with him. It is absolutely beautiful. I've listened to his music before. He's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. It's a blend of world music, Celtic, cinematic, New Age, and neoclassical crossover stuff. It's really fun. And also another one just a few days later, December 12th, which is a Friday at 7 p.m., same place, Sedona Performing Arts Center. The Sedona International Film Festival is bringing in El Men Trio. That's what they call it. It's a 3 tenors Christmas here in Sedona. And it is, I'm going to just say, these guys are sensational. They're known as the modern 3 tenors. I've heard them. They're incredible. And it's going to be a wonderful way to celebrate the holiday season with beautiful holiday music. So for all this, you can visit SedonaFilmFestival.com. You can find out what's going on with films, events, and remember, you can purchase online because it's usually a little less expensive when you purchase in advance, and they do sell out these great concerts. And then, of course, always visit SedonaBallet.org because they are the sponsor of this wonderful event calendar that I get to mention every show. I just love it. And by the way, I also want to support the Community Library Sedona. You can go to their events calendar on communitylibrarysedona.org. So there are some things going on. I'm telling you, in December, there's lots of stuff happening. I'm going to get ready for my guests.
I'll get your kicks on Route 66.
Ah, you hear that? You hear that music? Route 66? There's a reason for that. You're going to find out real quickly because I have in the studio with me today Nate Meyers, the Executive Director of the Sedona Heritage Museum. We're going to talk about Route 66.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
There's a big anniversary, yeah?
Yeah, 100th anniversary of Route 66.
That's
the Mother Road coming up in next year.
In 2026?
Yep.
I love it. My goodness, 100 years.
Yeah.
That is one stretch of a route, I will say. I mean, that's a biggie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It goes all the way down through the south.
Cuts from Chicago to Los Angeles, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Joplin,
cuts
Missouri,
all.
Oklahoma City. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. There it
Kingman,
is.
Barstow, San Bernardino.
There you go. So you know it as well. That's good. I love it. I have seen many musicians. I think it was Bill Bassett. I saw a picture of him. He used to be at the Blazing M Ranch working with Tom and the band and all that and in the show. And he took a picture, and many people do, musicians, standing by the sign of Route 66 up at, where would that be here? That would
Flagstaff.
be Flagstaff.
And, the border of New Mexico and Arizona. Yeah.
Get everywhere, anywhere. Anywhere that it goes, you're going to find those signs. So 100th anniversary, there you go, Route 666. And there's another really big anniversary, is there not?
Yeah, 2026 is the our nation's semi-quincentennial.
Try and say that 5 times really fast.
Yeah, fancy word for 250th birthday.
That's right. It's a very big name. Yeah. I love it. That's good. Are we doing something special for that?
Well, it's interesting. I think what I've been thinking a lot about is Route 66, the Mother Road, and that anniversary, and how that really speaks to what America was and what America has become, which really is, to me, what the 250th is all about. Is like, what is America? What does it mean to be American? What does our country's history mean? So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. And as I thought about it, I was like, the Mother Road is really kind of the way to think about this, because did Route 66 come through Sedona? No, it did not. It passed 30 miles. When I
sing it does. When Tom sings it, it does, actually.
Does the actual Mother Road pass through Sedona? No.
Okay.
It's 30 miles north of here, pass through Flagstaff,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But, when you think about the people who are coming through, tourists, there's a great picture in the Arizona State Archives of a sign pointing people from Route 66 down to Oak Creek Canyon. Like, Oak Creek Canyon was the destination, because Sedona didn't exist as anything more than a post office,
actually,
right?
But we're not really lying then when we sing it.
Yeah,
don't forget Sedona.
Yeah, don't forget Sedona. Forget Winona. Don't forget Sedona.
Forget Winona.
But since you brought up Winona, a little bit of Route 66 history here. At the Sedona Heritage Museum, we have the telegraph office. The telegraph office began life as the railroad depot in Winona, Arizona. Every
Toledo.
small town in America had their own little railroad depot. Well, Route 66 made all those little railroad depots completely obsolete. So when Route 66 comes through northern Arizona in the 20s, suddenly Winona's railroad depot doesn't matter at all. And so fast forward to the 40s, and John Wayne comes to town in Republic Studios, and they buy that railroad depot. They move it to Sedona. They reconstruct it as part of the Western Town movie set, and it makes its film debut in Angel and the Bad Man.
Too funny.
Yeah.
That is
so
outrageous. So that came from Winona? That came from
That
Winona?
came from Winona. So there's a direct
my
connection between Sedona history and Route 66.
Oh, that's fantastic.
There's also, when you think about Route 66 and the great novel, The Grapes of Wrath,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
the Jodes, the Jodes are traveling across to California on Route 66. They pass through northern Arizona. Well, the actual story, they don't divert in Flagstaff, but the actual story of all of those Dust Bowl migrants coming from Oklahoma and Kansas and Colorado and Texas, their actual story is they're looking for work. And most of them are finding agricultural work. Well, what did we have here in Sedona in the 1930s when all those Dust Bowl migrants are coming through? Agricultural work. And so plenty of them diverted from Route 66 in Flagstaff and came south through Oak Creek Canyon and found work in the apple orchards here and other farm labor. In fact, I believe it was Ruthie Jordan, whose parents, owned the orchard where the museum is today.
Yes.
Had a story about, she called them Okies, that's kind of derogatory, but about those Dust Bowl migrants coming to the farm at night and the orchard at night and stealing the gas from Walter's gas tanks.
Whoa.
And then moving on the way. So there's definitely that story there. And then as you also think about Route 66, and we picture it today with all those little motels and hotels that spring up and cafes and everything that spring up roadside at every small town, right?
Yes.
Well, that happens with every interstate, or not interstate highway, but every highway that gets built after that, right? And so Sedona, we see that ourselves, along 89A and 179. You can still see, especially 89A in West Sedona, you can still see, and in Uptown, you can still see some of those original motels that sprung up as kind of the Route 66ification of Sedona as you move into the middle part of the century, and highway and automobile travel just becomes the way to travel.
Wow. That's cool. So we are going to have some sort of an exhibit with Route 66.
We're looking into what that's going to look like. What it looks like right now, I don't know, but it's in development, and I think it'll be a really interesting one.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. So now with the 250, as we say, coming in, are you going to do something with that? And how that affected us here.
Yeah.
First of all, this is crazy. You said something to me that blew my mind. And this is about 1776. Sedona was...
Well, think back to July 4th, 1776.
Yes.
When they're signing the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia.
Right.
What's going on in the place called Sedona? And what's happening...
And it wasn't Sedona yet.
It wasn't Sedona yet. That was still... almost 150 years into the future before that name becomes a place name here.
Right.
The Yavapai and Apache call this place home. The Spanish missionaries have moved through the area at least twice, and they've settled in southern Arizona, but they claimed all of what is Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Utah, Nevada, California, Washington, Oregon. All the western states are Spain. Okay,
so where was I when in my classes in school, they didn't teach me that. I don't remember any of that. I remember Mexico. Remember the whole thing with the Alamo and all of that. But Spain?
Yeah, so this was
shocking.
Spain.
That's shocking.
And then it becomes Mexico.
Then it becomes Mexico.
And then in the Mexican-American War, the Americans win that war, and in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, Mexico cedes just about all of the western United States except for a tiny little bit of what would become southern Arizona to the United States.
Amazing.
And it isn't until a little bit of trivia for you. the Gadsden Purchase is what completed the contiguous United States. That was Secretary of State Jefferson Davis, who would later become the President of the Confederate States of America. He was the Secretary of State first, and he purchased what would become southern Arizona, the Gila River down to today's border. And he purchased that so that there would be a southern railroad route to take cotton from the southern states to California.
This is unbelievable. I'm like, whoa, wow. So this whole area has the going on at that time, and that's amazing to me.
So it's a hard thing to think about, right? Like,
No,
how are we supposed to celebrate the very moment of July 4th, 1776, sitting here in what's today Sedona, Arizona, but was back then just Spain?
It's so, right?
You know, and
so interesting.
It's interesting.
So interesting.
There's a fantastic book if people want to read and find out more about this and be challenged to think a little bit more outside of those 13 original colonies. Like, oh yeah, there's a whole continent here. What is happening? It's called West of the Revolution by, let me look it up here just to make sure I don't lead people astray, by Claudio Sant, S-A-U-N-T.
Okay.
It's a fantastic book that looks at, I believe, 6 geographic areas of what would become the United States in July of 1776. So what's happening in these places west of the Appalachian Mountains in July of 1776. And, of course, Arizona is one of those places they focus on. California, the Russians are heavily involved in California at that time.
That's interesting.
Blew my mind.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads me to ask you a question I've been wanting to ask you for a while. History seems to be ever-changing. And what I mean by that is, there are things that happen that we don't know about, and then there are things that we do know about. Then all of a sudden, another generation doesn't hear about those things. They hear about something else. So who is the writer of history? Who would you say is like, the idea is to document everything, right? And we kind of trust that.
Yeah.
What would you say about this? And what's your thoughts about history that's ever-changing?
There's a lot in that question, Shondra. That's a big question. So how much time do you got? 3 hours?
Yeah, right. Seriously, I could sit and talk to you for 3 hours about this.
In short, where should I start? I'll start with museums. Since polling has been done on this, starting about 25, 30 years ago, museums and libraries are the most trusted institutions in American life.
Wow.
Both of them enjoy over 90% trust. So people look at what a museum produces and says, yes, that's accurate, that's factual, that's the truth. And so we have a responsibility to make sure that we are putting facts into the universe that are to the best of our knowledge incontrovertible. And the way we do that is we look at a source, we find information, and we say, okay, this source says this about this. What does this source say about it? What does that source say about it? And we figure out where they agree, where they disagree, where they undermine each other or contradict each other. And that is the work of history, is establishing what those facts are and then taking those facts and telling you what they mean. So that's the act of interpreting them.
It's like an investigation.
It is.
Almost.
It absolutely. History is an investigation. It's if you want to do like a metaphor with a courtroom, like it's the detectives are out there finding all the evidence and saying this piece of evidence says this piece supports that, this one over here we don't know what to do with, but that seems to suggest this. And then you get to the trial and the attorney's up there telling you what it means.
So have you ever had anything go south where something happened and it wasn't correct?
Have I got something wrong before?
Yeah.
Never.
Not you, ever.
Never.
No, but have you ever been involved in anything where it wasn't just quite right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got a big one wrong.
What is that?
At my last museum down in Chandler, we relied on a single source, just like I told you we shouldn't do.
Yes.
But we did. We relied on a single source, the local newspaper, the Chandler Arizonan, to tell us the day that Chandler was founded. And by the paper, it was May 17th, 1912.
May 17th.
May 17th, 1912.
Okay.
So this is gospel in Chandler. And we celebrate the centennial of the city on May 17th, 2012. My colleagues and I wrote one of those Arcadia books, Images of America Chandler, that says it's founded May 17th, 1912. We include in the book the article that states it and everything. Book's out, centennial's done, and within just a couple months, doing other research on something else entirely, and start coming across advertisements in local papers surrounding Chandler, including what would become the Arizona Republic, the East Valley Tribune, and papers literally across the country, all saying, come to this place called Chandler on May 16th, 1912.
May 16th.
Yep. So we relied on one source, and that one source had a typo.
Oh.
So another good reason, check your sources.
Oh, my gosh. So, how did that feel? Did you just,
like a gut punch?
God, yes. And who was it were you the one who found that?
I can't remember if it was me or the museum director, but either way, we...
was it like one of those
we both kind of just stared at each other like, oh, no.
Yeah, so what did you do?
No.
What did you do?
We immediately actually wrote an article.
Good for you.
And
called it out.
Published it in the Arizona Republic. You could go read it online today, where we said, we messed up.
Oh, my God. We're human.
Yeah, we didn't do history correctly. We didn't check our sources. We didn't, find supporting evidence for what we knew to be the case.
Isn't that something?
We just took it for granted.
And it's forgivable. Things happen. And it was a typo, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. Isn't that something? Oh, my gosh, that's hysterical.
But I will say, museums, to get back to your main question, I think museums play a major role in that, because museums and archives are the repositories of our material culture and of the events that shape our communities and everything. And so I think museums of any and all size, it doesn't matter, all play a vital role in establishing what
really actually happened.
Yeah.
What happens when can you think of a story in the past that changed everything from the history of, we thought it was this and then something later on it became something different? Do you know what I'm saying? For instance, I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. And there's things that are hidden that we don't know about. Do you remember the movie about the African-American women who helped with getting to the moon? Yeah. And it's we didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know about that until the movie came out. Mm-hmm. Somebody found out about that. Mm-hmm. So...
yeah, those stories are out there. And I mean, it's a matter of people asking the right questions of the right people or of the right resources.
Or maybe somebody knowing something or
knowing something.
And putting it out like in a movie, which brings it to light.
Yeah, I just read a book recently that was about the construction of Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. And it was about the destruction of 3 Latino communities that had to happen in order for the stadium to be built there.
Whoa.
And I had no idea. And the author in the preface says, I had no idea. I grew up a Dodgers fan. I grew up going to Chavez Ravine. I had no idea until this guy who was involved in it came and spoke to my class, and it got me wondering, okay, what's the story here?
Wow.
And so that's all it takes, is a lot of times it's just one person saying one thing, and you're like, no, wait a minute. There's a story here.
I know. And if you really dig deep, there's probably tons of stories like this that we're unaware of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is not from a lack of asking questions, but in my own experience with my grandfather. So my grandfather, he's 103 years old. He'll turn 104 in February.
He's still living.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
He's a World War II pilot.
Holy
he
smokes.
He flew Liberators over North Africa and Italy, bombers.
I'm going to sidestep for a second. Does he have energy? I mean, he's doing well?
Oh, yeah. He's doing great.
Is he driving?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
That's we learned something new about you.
He always likes to compare the mileage on my car to the mileage on his car, because he drives his to doctor's appointments, and I drive mine between Phoenix and Sedona.
I love it. And he turns 104?
104 in February. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. We want to know what that man is eating.
Yeah.
I want to know what
I
he's
do
doing
too.
with his life, really. What are you not eating? That's probably more the question.
Keeping curious and not worrying.
Keeping curious.
That's what he says.
And not worrying.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So he reads all the time. He watches documentary. I mean, he's always trying to learn. He does puzzles. He takes like courses, like great courses, like audiobook courses.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I'm ordering them up right
yeah.
now.
But where I was going with that is like, as with lots of veterans, they don't want to talk about their experience,
right?
Or at least they don't want to with their family. Like they're not going to.
Yeah, understandable.
And I asked him plenty of times, and he had the same few stories that he told always. And then one day, I had him speaking at my old museum in his mid-90s, and he came and spoke, and somebody asked him in the audience, if he ever saw the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes.
And that just sent me, like, it refocused the whole way I thought about his history in the broader history of civil rights and and everything. And he, in fact, had a whole story about they were limping home on 3 engines. One of their engines had gone out, and the Tuskegee Airmen came in and got right next to them and took off their oxygen masks, smiled at him, gave him a thumbs up, and then took off.
Isn't
and he was
that
like,
something?
I knew we were safe.
Wow. Incredible. Yeah. I knew one of those pilots. Tom
That's
and I
amazing.
knew it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. What a great story. Thank you for all that you bring. Sure. Every time you're here, it's such a delight because I learn so much, and all of you listening hear all these great stories. And if you are coming to Sedona, and even if you are residing in Sedona, visit the Sedona Heritage Museum. Make sure you find Nate. He is there all the time. And they're open all the time from 11 to 3 every day. And lots of programs, events, and great displays and exhibits. So thank you, Nate, for being here again. I look forward to this in 2026 to see all that's coming. All right, everybody, stay with me. I'll be right back.
Join us December 12th at Mariposa Latin-inspired Grill for a joyful celebration featuring an award-winning film, a vibrant Native American culture reception, live music, a decadent lunch, and the inspiring introduction of Soup Hope. When you purchase a ticket, you help nourish communities through Soup Hope, the universal soup of love. Festivities begin at 10:30 a.m. and tickets are almost gone. Be a part of something meaningful and have a beautiful time doing it. Get your tickets at lisadahlfoundation.org.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Cleaner, Quicker Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day, and look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit cleanerquickercarwash.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Doll Group.
You're going to love my next guest. I mean, really, truly. I didn't know this. There's so much dance in Sedona. And I am sitting with one of the finest choreographers, instructors of dance, and she has a huge background, of course, in dance to be doing all that she's doing. She's the founder of Sedona Dance Project, which you can always visit sedonadanceproject.org. We're going to talk about this. Oh, Danielle, thank you for being here. Danielle McNeal Strabala. So great to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh, you're so busy. You just did a huge event with Amy Waddell, didn't you?
Yes. So we, at the Tlaquepaque Arts and Craft Village, we did a Walk into Beauty, which was honoring the sculptures that her father made.
Yes.
And actually, I don't know, it's probably been like over 20 years. I danced with a company in Phoenix, Desert Dance Theater, that I'm still currently dancing with. And they did a tribute dance. They used his sculptures in a piece that we did years ago. And so it was interesting because I didn't really make that connection until I moved here. And Amy's son was taking my dance class. Sasha. Yes. And then we did a festival. One of our dance festivals we asked if we can have some of her smaller sculptures on display, and she brought them to the event. And so that's kind of how our relationship, she saw the festival and she was really inspired seeing this kind of dance in Sedona, modern dance or contemporary dance. And also we had flamenco, we had Indian dance, but mostly dance as art, like as an art form. And she was really inspired. And so she asked if I would choreograph some pieces for his works at this beautiful event. So,
well, let me tell you something. That was on the weekend that we were doing the Dead Quilter Society, right? So Friday, because I know there was the big event on Friday and Saturday,
yes.
Right? Friday, I think it was Friday evening, I'm coming back up the hill, going towards West Sedona,
okay.
And I'm seeing traffic that is unbelievable, all going to Tlaquepaque. I know you were packed.
It was packed.
Especially Saturday.
Yeah.
I know you were, because I saw it. I saw everybody coming. I was like, dang it. I would have loved to have gone to that, but I was busy in my own show. So let's talk about you. You have these dance festivals. You are teaching not only young people, but at any age,
yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And like, who is like, do you have people who are of age that will come and do dances that have had dance backgrounds?
Yes.
Or you finding it's a variety of people who've never taken dance and then those who have all their lives?
It is a variety. So I seem to be finding a lot of the dancers that come to my classes. So I do all the adult like dance classes. I do jazz, modern, Afro-Caribbean, Pilates. And so I get all these different women and men, because Tyler Carson, the fiddler,
yes,
he takes class too, and we have a couple of other gentlemen that take dance as well, and they're all different ages. So I'm inspired by them because I have people that are in their 70s. They used to dance professionally. Some of them just danced, recreationally in their lives, and then we have people that are just new to it coming in. So I have all different levels. Some people that have never really taken a dance class and they're trying it for the first time. So I differentiate in all my classes that I do just to try and meet everybody's needs. And so it's a really fun experience because most of the time when I come into the class, because of the type of class I teach, I usually don't have it all planned out, which if you're teaching people how to teach dance, that's not necessarily what I would tell like somebody new coming in, but I've been doing it for a long time and I feel out the room. And so I can see what the energy is of that day and I create a class in that moment.
That's awesome.
For the class.
So now if you have a schedule of the different classes that you offer, and I want to mention the fact that you do have a place. It is an actual business, different than Sedona Dance Project.
Yes.
That's a whole nonprofit.
Yeah.
Again, you can visit SedonaDanceProject.org, donate to them. They're doing some great things. And so the place that you are having your classes is Sedona Dances.
Yeah, so it's Sedona Dances headquarters, and that's a business that my husband and I run. We started it predominantly as silent disco headset rentals.
Oh, yes. I've done one of those.
Yeah. We own 300 headsets. So we do lots of weddings and different events like that because of the noise ordinances here. Mm-hmm. People can't go partying through the night. So they usually bring us in and then they can... It's actually really entertaining.
It's outrageous. I did this once and I was like, this is the coolest thing I have. I DJ'd for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like on the side, right?
Yeah.
For weddings. And then a friend of mine said, you gotta do this. This is crazy. And there was somebody, and oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. This is terrible. She's a buddy. But this is several years ago. She had all of these headsets. Uh-huh. And so we did this at the Sedona Community Center in the evening. And it was kind of cool. It was so cool. Because she had 3 different channels she was using. And so you could choose your channel.
And they
then
light up different colors.
Yeah,
too.
and if you take off your headsets, you're looking around and everyone's dancing and there's no music. Crazy.
And it's quiet, or they're singing off key because they get into a song. It's very entertaining. We find when we come into an event, more people are dancing than they would normally be because they get excited. They hear like their favorite song is on green and they start pulling people out of their seats saying, come dance to this, or telling
really
their
fun.
friends to change the station. So we have a good time just watching people dance in that realm. But we then got our space and there was a space to have classes now, and so that's how we got our studio. And we also do dances there, like we host a lot of different events. Plus, we rent our venue out. Tyler does his shows on Saturday there at the Sedona Dances headquarters, and he's amazing. And he's actually danced in the project, so everything is like connected. So like our businesses connect with the nonprofit, and so. To me, I feel like I'm just living my life's purpose.
So good.
Every day, like even if it's work, because we have to work, we have to make money to live.
Course.
And to support the nonprofit, because if I'm not making money, I can't be the artistic director, right?
So true.
Because unfortunately, we don't get the grants and things that I think we used to get back in the day. There used to be a lot more support for the arts than there is, and so you really have a lot more private support and fundraising and all those things to really keep it going. And what we found when I first founded Sedona Dance Project was just from volunteer and in-kind service is really how we survived that whole first year. We knew people that had a thrift store, and I got the costumes from there. Right. And dancers are always willing to dance, They'll dance for free. They'll put in all the hours, all the rehearsal time without asking. They just love the experience. And so it became like the experience was part of it for the dancers, what they got out of it. Also because there were people that never performed before. This was the first time ever being on the stage.
Wow.
And they're getting this opportunity to be in rehearsal and be directed. Like they like all that.
People don't realize the time and energy, and dance as a profession is a very young, it's a very young profession, and it can end young. When I say young, like 30, 32 is like kind of old as a dancer, right? So you want to get into other things like choreography, and you becoming a choreographer and stuff like that, and a vision and teaching and helping others to do that, whether that's in a big arena type of situation in New York or if it's here, it's all the same. I have to mention this, that you were trained by the Alvin Alley group. Oh my God, that's like awesome. Luigi, these are all New York names, everybody. Yeah. And nobody knows a dancer's life. Do you want to give us an idea? Here you are being trained, Alvin Alley. Tell us about what it's like, because it's a full blown out. It's a deal.
Yeah, especially when you decide that you want to do it as a career.
Yes,
it is one of the hardest performing arts careers for sure. It is, because the dancer, they, like you said, they put so many hours. I danced in my room. It was like you live it. Like you don't go skiing. You don't, you can't. There's certain things you didn't do while you were training as a dancer. And but you loved it because it has to be a passion. It's like your whole entire life. And so I knew I wanted to dance from a very young age. I was actually inspired. I saw like Fame. And then, movies like that. And I really wanted to dance, but I wasn't going to dance school yet. I actually didn't start formal training till I was 12.
I was going to ask you this because, and that's a little late.
It's very late. So I was 12. I was in junior high because my birthday, anyway, I'm November baby, but back then they didn't hold you back. So I was already like in school by the time I was 4 years old. And so
happy birthday, by the way.
Well, thank you. And so I auditioned for the high school performing arts. You audition when you're in junior high, and they said you will pretty much never be a dancer because you don't have any training. And my mom, all of us, because my mom thought I was the best dancer because I was always making up dances in my neighborhood, and we did all the talent shows. and she went to the local dance studio in Queens, which is where I was raised, Queens, New York, and they told me I would need like private lessons, and so we did that. My mom was a waitress and she was a secretary, but she put me through private lessons. I took class with little kids, and within 3 years I was at the top of the school. And because it was so natural to me, and I worked hard, like I would go home and I would do all the things. And so my dance teacher, amazing teacher, she said, if this is what you want to do as a career, you have to go into the city. And these are the places she wanted me to go. And one of them was Luigi. Mm-hmm. And so I went and I started training under him, which was an honor to actually, he was alive at the time, to train with him, and then to go to the Ailey School, which I got into and trained there. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. The teachers, it was just really, really intense. They expect a lot and they pull a lot from you. But I'm grateful for that, because all those challenges, even the fact that I was told that I couldn't be a dancer, I think it's what sparked me to keep going, because I knew. I was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And so I was willing to put all the effort in and do it. Today it's different when you watch. I think some nowadays kids see things they see on the phone and they go, oh, I want to do this, and they don't realize that there's so much hours in training to do that.
Yes.
And I think it's just a different world too, and the way we train is a little different now than back then. But back then it was just literally everything my whole being was in the training, and it's intense, and it's really intense. When I went to the first day I got to the Ailey School, I always used to be in the front of the class, and I went right up to the front, and I learned quickly. It was very humbling, that, you don't just walk in to a place. You earn to be up there. And I got slowly pushed back to where, and also because I was new.
That exactly.
So it was humbling, and I really learned a lot through there. But I would say where I learned the most was when I finally went to college for dance. I went to Arizona State University, and actually Alvin Ailey himself at the time, he was also the director. Like, he was working at the community college. He worked with the community college there in Manhattan. I went to Borough Manhattan Community College because we didn't have a lot of money. So that's the other thing people don't understand.
It's expensive.
Train, yeah. So I had to get scholarships. So I got scholarships at Alvin Ailey, Nanette Bearden Contemporary Dance, where I learned a lot of African dance, and then I also went to the Luigi, and then I went to Borough Manhattan Community College, which I got in also with a scholarship. And they then recommended, because my family was moving to Arizona. So I was devastated. I'm like, I'm not leaving New York.
Right? You must have been like, oh, no. Yeah. I'm not doing this.
But it's hard to live in New York when you don't have your family.
Oh, yeah. It can be.
I mean, you can go live in an apartment with 10 people, like in a 2-bedroom apartment or something like that. And so I was willing and open. And both of my professor at the community college and then Alvin Ailey, they had said that the professors at ASU were actually really good at that time. So I was really fortunate to come in at that time. You had Cliff Kiter and you had Elina Moody. Cliff danced with Paul Taylor Company.
Wow.
And you had Ann Ludwig, and she danced with Cunningham. So these are all first generation here in Arizona.
Who would ever have known?
Right. It was
that's amazing.
Some of the best training.
No, that's the thing. It's not just New York. Sorry. I love New York and LA and all of that. But it's also in these other areas. Things happen. But when I say it's difficult, you guys who are listening, and gals, we're talking about where I went to school in New York, I went to Juilliard, and there was a whole floor for dance. And one of my friends walks into, I think we were all taking different kinds of courses, and some of them we would blend. Like, for instance, theater history. I think it was something like that. So here she is, and she shows me her foot, and she's all taped up, and she took it off. You already know what it's completely split down the bottom of her foot because she had been dancing for 7 hours.
Yes.
And this was daily. And I'm like, what? I'd never seen this. Now, I wasn't a stranger to dance. I took a lot of dance as a kid and through high school and all of that stuff. And we even had dance in our high school. It was really cool. And so I was aware of how difficult it was, but I didn't know you could actually split your foot wide open.
Yes.
And she had to tape her foot up, of course, and go out there.
You got to put your moleskin on and dance with it.
Okay. Has that ever happened to you?
Of course, yeah.
Is this normal? This is normal.
Especially for modern dancers, because you're dancing barefoot. Point, of course, when you're on point shoes, you're losing your toenails or bruising. So I think you get used to the pain, so you don't think of it as something that stands out. It's a normal part of dance. Now we wear socks a lot. We have like dance socks, which I'm so grateful for. Oh. Yes, because they have traction because of that. Because I think people are getting smarter, but we did it for years. And it's really weird because in New York, the moisture made the skin peel off. So you would get like this peel. And then when I moved to Arizona, you get these deep cracks that were, I don't know if I think those were more painful because they're dry and deep. But you still had to dance on it.
How could you possibly get through this and not re-injure all the time you're re-injuring? Well,
you're taping it. So I think once you initially, open up whatever wound, you tape it. And so it's healing, but dancers never let anything heal too. That's the other thing. We're always working through whatever it is. Like I broke my toe, I should say. It wasn't my whole foot, on the stage. I was dancing at Scottsdale Performing Arts Center. And when you're on the stage, lighting is, it can be blinding.
Oh, yes.
And so we're in a lift, and my partner's putting me down, and the floor came sooner than my foot was ready. And this is during dress rehearsal, and we were doing dress rehearsal the day of the show. And I was just like, I got to just keep moving. And I danced. I had like so many costume changes and everything that night. And I remember I watched the video too, and you would never be able to tell that I was dancing on an injured foot. And the next day I couldn't even walk on it. So isn't that amazing?
I've got a war story for you because I have one. So I'm in high school now. I've taken lots of dance, and this was a conglomeration of all different kinds of performances in which some was dance. And we had platforms. So it was kind of like an open space on a proscenium stage. And yours truly here, because the lights would go down, not to brown, to black. And I'm like running on stage, hit my foot. Okay, this is during like a dress rehearsal. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's like, ow, that hurt really bad, my left foot. Okay. Now during performance, I did this like 2 or 3 times. The last performance, I remember after the first act, I could not walk. I remember being lifted by cast members, foot in the sink in the dressing room, director and assistant director coming over, throwing ice on my foot. We taped up my foot, and I had to start the second act with a mime. Okay, because I was also touring in a mime company when I was in high school. So I was kind of chosen to do that because that was what I was learning. I was really into it. And after that, I missed a week of school. Wow. I couldn't walk. I still have that foot. I was going,
isn't it amazing?
The toes were broken. Cannot set toes. I don't know how you do it. And by the way, those of you who are listening, dance also, it's mental, it's emotional, it's physical. They are the first ones there warming up, and they are usually the last ones to leave. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's short-lived.
So what I teach my dance students, because, I've had a few. I used to teach up in Show Low, too, before I came here. And these are kids, even here, are more isolated, right? They're not getting the same experiences that we had in New York and all that.
Right.
And I would tell them, maybe you're not going to dance professionally. Maybe there were a few that actually wanted to, but it teaches you discipline. I mean, it's going to be, I had one of my dancers actually made me cry because Haley went on to the military, and she would write to me, and these letters would make me cry because she would tell me, the reason I am surviving boot camp is because of your
It's the truth.
Classes.
Theater, dance, it's all very discipline oriented. So, the thing about that is it also helps you with confidence, knowing how to enter a room,
yes,
how to physically make a difference for your profession.
Yes.
And it also will remind you that you need to keep your body in shape constantly. Good posture, all that good stuff, which
yes,
helps with aging. So I can't believe it, but we are out of time.
Oh, my goodness.
So what are we going to promote? The Nutcracker, really fast. You've
Yes.
got something coming up on December 20th, and there's only one show. You've
Yes.
got to catch it. For those of you coming into Sedona.
We sold out last year, too. 720 seats? And
Yes,
they sold
that's
out.
back. The Sedona Performing Arts Center. It is the 20th of December at 2 p.m., the Nutcracker.
Yes.
And it is the Sedona Dance Academy. And
Yes.
you are also involved in this.
Yes, so we are guests. The Sedona Dance Project will be guest artists. We will have adults dancing and performing the special section, and then the chamber, the Sedona Community Youth Orchestra is going to be playing live at the show for certain sections. It's a non-traditional Nutcracker, so we've got different music. We've got modern dance, jazz, hip hop, ballet. So I recommend people come out and see the show. We have tickets left, but they will go in the next few weeks.
And
sure.
you can get tickets at SedonaDanceProject.org.
Yes.
You can also go to SedonaDanceAcademy.org to get your tickets. I would highly suggest you do this.
Yes.
And also, for those of you who are local, there's dance events going on all the time with your husband, Brandon. We don't have time to get into it, but this is ecstatic dance. If you want to know about that, go to SedonaDances.com.
Yes.
That's with an S at the end.
Yes.
Sedona Dances. So much going on. Thank you, Danielle, for being with me.
Absolutely.
I hope you'll come back.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Okay, everybody, stay where you are. All right. I'll be right back.
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now, discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath, then let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at SedonaNewDaySpa.com or call 928-282-7502.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineering to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at SeftonEngineeringConsultants.com.
Chef Lisa Dahl invites you to join her at Pizza Lisa in the Village of Oak Creek on December 14th from 11:30 to 2:30. Enjoy a lively afternoon hosted by Sedona's own Shondra Jefferson, bringing her signature warmth, humor, and heart as we celebrate the people who make our community stronger. Your ticket to this event helps fuel Soup Hope, nourishing individuals and families in our community. Your support truly makes a difference. Come share great food, joyful moments, and the spirit of giving. Reserve your spot at LisaDahlFoundation.org.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. I just loved my guests, Nate Meyers, Executive Director of the Sedona Heritage Museum, and Danielle McNeal Strabala. Do you hear that? Okay, you know what that means. It's time for my shameless Shondra spot. Okay, I'm going to tell you about a really fun event that's happening on Sunday, December 14th. So it's a week from tomorrow. Mark your calendars. You're going to want to get a ticket for this. It's over at Pizza Lisa in the Village of Oak Creek. Not the one on the west side, the one over at the Village. Okay, now you probably have heard, and if you haven't, you're going to have to check out the papers and also listen to commercials here, because Chef Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Restaurant Group had these huge celebrations going on that entire weekend. I am going to be at the one on December 14th at Pizza Lisa, the Village of Oak Creek, from 11:30 to 2, and I want you to come over and say hi and be a part of this. Tickets are going to be online, so you can check that out. And all you have to do is visit cheflisadahl.com, and you can get the information. Now, here's what's happening. We're going to have pizza. We're going to have beer, and a brand new wine is coming out. We're going to premiere it there, and it is Chef Lisa Dahl's wine. It's her label, and it's going to be premiered there. And we're going to have fun things on sale, like her olive oil and aprons. There's great gelato. There's going to be pizza served everywhere. We're going to have some soup. Matter of fact, her soup, which is from Project Soup Hope, and you could take some home because she's got them all packaged up, and she's going to be debuting a lot of different things. So you've got to go. This is the place to be on Sunday, December 14th from 11:30 to 2 p.m. Pizza Lisa. I'm going to be running around. I'm going to be performing also. I'm going to be singing some rock and roll music, a lot of my own originals, and in between I'll play some background rock stuff, and we'll just have a great time. It's going to be a wild and crazy day because Lisa's going to have a mic, and she's going to be with me, and we're going to work in tandem to give you a wonderful, wonderful time. And all of the proceeds that come from the sales are all going to Project Soup Hope, her foundation. So it's a wonderful way to give back, and you'll have some holiday gifts to purchase for your friends, and just have a great time celebrating at Pizza Lisa, Sunday, December 14th from 11:30 to 2 p.m. See you there. Well, thank you for tuning in again. I so appreciate it every time you get your VIP pass out and join me on Saturdays at 10 a.m. for Sedona's Backstage Pass. Remember, if you miss a show, you can always go back to mellowmountainradio.com, and they're all archived there, all the shows, as well as Pandora Radio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. So much fun having it. I just want to thank all of my sponsors, because without them, I couldn't do this show. I want to thank Sedona Heritage Museum, Safton Engineering, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, Sedona Ballet, and my presenting sponsor, Chef Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Group. And I also want to thank my producer and engineer who makes these shows sound so great, Ryan Thompson. Ryan, thank you so much. Always waving to him in the studio, here at the window of the studio. And also the owner of KAZM, Chuck Helstein. Thanks, Chuck, for everything. Now, remember, you've got to get your VIP pass out. It's hard to say sometimes. My VIP pass, your VIP pass. Got to get it out and get ready and come on board on Saturdays at 10 a.m. at 106.5 Mellow Mountain Radio, FM, and also 780 a.m. And get that pass out so you can hear all these wonderful backstage stories of all my wonderful guests. And thank you for being with me again, and happy holidays to everybody. Can you believe it's December already? All right, I'll see you next week, Saturday at 10 a.m. here at mellowmountainradio.com.